Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. We are back, Anaheim, California. Star Wars Celebration, Day 3. Today is about the rebels. About those rebels. I can't sing a song, but over here we got a photo op going on with kind of Jedi and Sith people. The crowd is starting to come in. We've got an R2-D2, and we've got more wars. We've got fighting with plastic swords happening. Oh no!
Are you attacking him? Oh! Get up! Corner circle! Corner circle!
Oh man. Now it's 2-on-1 action. The crowd is cheering them on. Jeering, cheering. Oh, so much action. Pretty sure that guy's plastic sword touched the other guy, but he's still alive. Oh boy. St. Patrick's has joined the fray. Indiana Jones is on the prowl. And he's wearing hiking sneakers. Good job. Evel Knievel reincarnated as Evel Knievel Fett. So we are at T-minus 5 minutes to open on Saturday. This is the crowd outside today. This is not including the giant crowd that's queued in Hall D. So there's a lot going on out there, and we're going to try to go in here in a little bit. So you're about to see mass people getting angry because they opened the general doors, but the door to get into the floor is not open yet. So people are going to start really being angry. It's Shogun Vader. Look, we're at EFX, not Star Wars related, but that Star-Lord helmet. What? Look at that Infinity Orb. Iron Man, Thor, Loki. Look at the Infinity Orb opens up. That is ridiculous. 5 minutes after opening, this is the line for Battlefront. Take a look around. So we're back here in the back of the convention center. This is the 501st Legion display area. Let's take a look at what they've got quick. I got these weapons up here too. Han Solo, Han Solo, Princess Leia. The E11 blaster, my favorite. Jango Fett. Macquarie concept. Lord Vader. We can do a photo op in the Emperor's chair. I've got a chicken walker. This is the Revenge of the Sith style, while they're in Kashyyyk. And we've got Rebel Legion on this side. We've got all the patches of the different Legion stations, garrisons. Yup, nub. He's not dead. He's just preserved. His vital signs are working. So we're inside the arena for the cast of the Rebels press conference. Little preview of what's happening in season 2.
So Dave, can you just kind of set the groundwork? Can you give us a little something? Tell us about season 1 and how it all kind of came together.
Well, season 1, we were kind of moving beyond what we had done in Clone Wars, and we were targeting time period, and we knew we wanted to work between episode 3 and 4. So the main theme there really was Rebels, and I think something that we all wanted to explore was, well, what about a Jedi kid that grows up and there is no Jedi order to find him? What do they do? Kids don't stop being born with the Force just because the Empire's taken over. So we kind of formulated a story based around a boy, and Simon wanted it to be a family dynamic and living on a ship, and all the kind of things that we had grown up with in the era of A New Hope. The sense of living on the Falcon, a group of friends together that felt like a family, being chased by Galactic Empire. All those things were different ingredients than we had really done on Clone Wars, which was very four-part arc, different character groups. So it just seemed a natural transition. And then by the end of it, the diabolical plan came together because I got to put Ahsoka Tano in it because she would still be alive.
For all of you, how does it feel to be adopted and admired by this Star Wars community? Anybody got any thoughts right off the bat?
I feel very nurtured. it's like,
amazing. Best fans in the world.
yeah, you're like one giant mother holding me. I love it. You guys are incredible.
You guys got a little bit of this last year at Star Wars Weekends. And I remember that expression the first time you came out on a stage and there was, thousands of people looking and cheering for you, and you're like, what? And so this is the most loving group of people you'll ever find, Star Wars fans. You are wonderful fans. You so love this, it means something to you, and then you put it back on these people. So your appreciation of Star Wars has it changed much now, working in this?
For me, I mean, this scar on my chin is from playing Star Wars. So,
really?
Yeah.
Okay, you can't just say that, you gotta get the story.
We bit this flagpole, not like a flagpole, little flagpole, back and forth until it snapped. And I was Luke, my cousin Chris was Vader, and I was sliding down a slide, and the flagpole hit the ground before I did it. My chin. My mom had to witness this, and she saw me get so many injuries. It literally was like, put him in a car, let's go, come on. It just threw me out. So I had the appreciation, but it's gotten real deep. Like, you do this, and I didn't start Twitter until Star Wars, and I was like, hey, I'm on this show, check it out, it's Rebels. And like in a week, I was doing full-on like Twitter role-play sessions as Kanan with like Imperials trying to kill me, and I'm like, oh, you think you're gonna kill Kanan? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Let me tweet this at you. I need more characters. Here's a second tweet. And I just jumped in, man. I love it. So thanks. If you guys are out there and you do that RP, you guys rock, right on, and I'll do it with you.
And that scar thing. That scar thing on his chin happened like 2 weeks ago, just so you know.
I just remember, especially Freddie's read, because he knew it was Star Wars, even though we had cleverly coded it something else. He just knew, I'm not sure how, it's so obvious.
Because you called the lightsaber a sun sword.
That was not me. That wasn't me. I don't know who did that. It's not a Thunder the Barbarian thing, but anyway.
Hey, lot going on here. Dave, there was a couple characters there that I recognized. It was such a privilege to be on the show as Obi-Wan in the first episodes, and that was so great. But now we have some other Clone Wars alumni, and I think they're here at Celebration. In fact, I think they're here right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashley Eckstein and Dave.
Bradley Baker. And I looked at Dave, and I mean, honestly, I looked at Dee, and I just started crying. Like, tears coming down my face, because it had been over 2 years since we recorded together, and I didn't know, you know, where Captain Rex was. I didn't know if Ahsoka knew where he was, and yeah, and so I just started crying. I was so happy that Captain Rex was back.
Tell us about that call. How did you get that call?
Well, it kind of took my breath away, because I mean, the only hopeful thing I had was that Rex hadn't been killed off of the Clone Wars. And so there was still some hope of that coming back into the story. So I was more than thrilled, because I want to, you know, I want to see what this guy still got in him. And I think the fans are really going to see that, along with a few of his clone friends. I guess I'm not going to tell you much more about that. I'll leave that to you to tell you more of the details. But
look at those guys.
As you saw, to see these fellows going up, these old lions going up an Imperial Walker is it's pretty awesome.
Right here, what is your name?
Connor?
Connor, what's your question for them?
This is for Dave. How did Captain Rex and all the other clones there, how did they survive? Like, how did they get past? How did they get past not killing when Kanan and Ezra come, not killing them after Order 66?
Yes, what's
Now, see, that's what I'm more used to. And you see, it's every celebration. It's all comes in a package about this tall, smiling faces, innocent looks. You think, oh, probably fun question. How crazy is Chopper? No. How did Rex survive? Well, this panel doesn't have enough time for me to explain the full depth of that story. Believe me, disappointing 4,000 people makes my day. I will say that, like, probably when I perceived it, you know, and we went back and forth towards the end of Clone Wars with Rex's fate. George and I had several conversations about it. There were a lot of things that once I knew George was still the company, that I made sure he and I sat down and we discussed at length. There were a couple key topics. One was Rex, and definitely the other was Ahsoka. How did they survive? Do they survive? What happens there? We had everything mapped out right up through Revenge of the Sith. So I know in detail why that is. I'll give you something because you're here on the weekend, but if you've watched the season 6 episodes on Netflix with the clone arc where Fives discovers the nature of the encoding that they have chip in their head, you have to remember that Fives tells Rex about that. And Fives would believe another trooper. So even though it's outlandish to Anakin, the Palpatine's in charge, he actually says it to Anakin and Rex right in front of them. Fives accuses everybody. So I always felt that truth can break any spell. It's an old mythological idea that in a fairy tale, if you know the truth, you can kind of break these evil spells if your heart is true. And you have to imagine if Rex got to that point and had a blaster raised, I don't think he could do it. What would be hard for Rex, if you can wrap your head around this, is the minute Rex wouldn't execute his general, he becomes a traitor as well. And the other clones will gun down the traitor clone. So that was something we had also discussed. So that's a bit of a look at that. And you'll see, just to give you this other tease, because if you haven't thought this through, we all love Rex. Kanan, not so much.
And
it's pretty clear why. So, okay.
Everybody here
That's more than I ever give you. It's more than I ever give you.
No chin, because you just got more than David ever did.
Look, it's you. We got left alone for the whole morning.
Yes, we did.
Yay! So, like, there's these big masses of people coming up here, and they're all waiting in line to get in, and yeah, and everybody's cramming to get here. Yay. Ooh, look at that, Captain America. So rawr. And look, there's Jawas holding hands. They're so cute. So this is
Steampunk Jedi.
This is like a cool steampunk person. His lightsaber. It's so cool.
The show, it means a lot to us. And allow me to introduce our panelists, starting with executive producer, supervising director Dave Filoni. Executive producer Simon Kinberg. The voice of Kanan, Freddie Prinze Jr. The voice of Hera, Vanessa Marshall. The voice of Ezra, Taylor Gray. The voice of Sabine, Tia Sircar. And finally, the voice of Zeb, Steve Bloom. And so you guys, like I said, we're going to do this just old school honor system style. You raise your hands, I'll pick you, and hopefully we'll get to everybody, okay? Awesome.
So who's going to be voicing Darth Vader this season?
Me. Simon, you good. Yeah, absolutely.
The same person that voiced Darth Vader in the original movies. James Earl Jones. One of the most, I would say, one of many surreal things in making this show, maybe the actually most surreal thing, is Dave sent me when he first worked with James on the dialogue, recorded it. He sent me like voice recordings, clips essentially, of the dailies, of hearing all of the different takes and hearing James Earl Jones, untreated, obviously, playing the part of lines that Dave and I essentially had written together. Was pretty insane. When you grew up, you think like, I'm going to write lines for Darth Vader, but I'm not actually going to get Darth Vader to say them out loud. And that was listening to Darth Vader say them out loud, so that's who's going to play Darth Vader.
That's such an awesome answer.
Every appearance this season of Vader?
Yeah, so far. And you know, James is great. You're not really direct as much. He'd sit and say, no, David, I haven't done this in 10 years. Could you remind me? I'm like, no, you're doing it. Matt Wood and I just look at each other and kind of high five when he's not looking, and it's an awesome moment.
There were a couple moments in the takes though where he coughed or he corrected himself and started over.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden you realize there is a man playing Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Playing Darth Vader. It's sort of like being a child and having the helmet come off.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys let us in on those sessions?
Yeah, no, Mandalorians.
I mean, just to watch. Just to
Too dangerous.
They don't trust us.
I think you always have characters in mind that you'd like to see interface. We throw names around the room. I mean, everybody in the writer's room is a fan. So everybody has certain characters that they would love to see. And sometimes you're never sure like how serious people are or not, you know, when they bring people up. And you have to be careful with that, because if you're joking and say, you know, how about we bring Porkins in? That'd be great. And then all of a sudden something happens and you're like, hey, Porkins would fit for that. And then the person's face is suddenly like serious and they're like, no, I was joking. And I'll seize on that idea with my sense of humor and be like, oh no. Now he's in, but he's not. So
it's because we know the time period that this takes place in between 4 or 5 years before New Hope. How many seasons do you guys think it's going to take you to tell the story up to where we need to go, where we all know it goes? And the second part for that question is, let's say a particular movie, spin-off movie, takes place in that timeline. Say Rogue One, maybe not. In that timeline, how much information would you guys be able to get to give the actors some backstory that they might need leading up to that period?
Well, I mean, as we were saying, all of the creatives kind of collaborate. We know what each other are doing. So the purpose of that is so that we're always aware of continuity in the different stories. So if there was a situation where that was happening, then we would absolutely know in detail what was going on, and then I can inform my actors as necessary, or our writers, you know. But that's kind of the beauty of the new story group scenario, is it all interconnected.
and that's the purpose for it, to keep the stories all on track, depending on where people are. The story group is the one that comes in and says, I like that idea, but that's going to be happening somewhere over here. So we're going to have that idea over here, this over here. As far as how many seasons we could go, I'm not exactly sure. I never know. I get asked that question every year on Clone Wars, and I thought it was a 2-year job, in all honesty, when I started it. That was the most animated series that I'd worked on, be about 2 years. So I thought I'd move to Bay Area for 2 years and move back to LA. I've been there 10 years, so I never know. I mean, I think it's kind of as long as there's a demand for it. I think I do have a little more of an arc in mind for Rebels SCU. We talk about kind of that bigger picture because we are running up to A New Hope. That is a flagpole that we know. So that's kind of a question on how we're going to deal with that incident in the galaxy should our timeline reach that.
Ready for part 2? Hey, who was here last time at Star Wars Celebration 6 and had the Smugglers Gambit? It's the Smugglers Bounty. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Smugglers Bounty, but with who? Mr. Kyle Newman! Great, huh? Not too bad. We dress up nicely here at the main stage.
Yeah.
Well, I try, you know. So tell us about the Smuggler's Bounty. This is part 2 of the story?
This is part 2 of our radio drama series. How many people were at Celebration 6 and got to see Smuggler's Gambit? Thank you. And how many people got to listen to it online on StarWars.com? People are excited for the sequel, Smuggler's Bounty.
Star Wars Smuggler's Bounty, a Han Solo audio drama adventure, Chapter 2 of the Smuggler series. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Our assault team is almost to the bridge, but we're encountering a little bit of resistance.
Yeah. Tell me about it. We're taking some heavy fire out here too. Good thing we brought the whole squadron.
Sure are a lot of stormtroopers on this ship for a supply vessel.
Well, you said it, kid. This is more like a stormtrooper convention.
I think someone knew we were coming.
Come on. There's no way they could have known.
This is the door to the bridge, but it's sealed shut.
Well, why don't you use that can opener of yours?
Never thought of that.
That's why I'm here, pal.
Stand back! That should do it. You guys ready?
As I'll ever be. And we go! Whoa! The princess said there was only supposed to be one squad here.
Tell that to them.
Well, maybe you were right, farm boy. Hey, look, careful, kid. Careful, kid. You almost gave me a haircut with that thing.
You just worry about those troopers on the left. I'll handle this batch.
Well, whatever you say, just don't kill yourself in the process.
Stand down, rebel scum.
Stand down. Well, in case you haven't noticed, you're the only Imperial left.
This ship is now the property of the Rebel Alliance.
You may think you have the upper hand, but as we speak, a fleet of Star Destroyers is moving to ensnare you and your fellow insurgents. As captain of this vessel, I suggest you surrender immediately, or else.
Surrender? Is that so?
So we got to see the Rebels Season 2 preview and do the panel. It was amazing. I think I almost was worked up during the preview for Rebels Season 2 with Vader and Rex as I was for the next movie preview. It is that good. And we just went to a press conference, which was super awesome. Press conference had everybody, including Dave Filoni, up there. We'll show you some highlights here, and just unbelievable day so far. Perhaps one of the greatest costumes yet this weekend. We have a Bantha and some Tusken Raiders. That's awesome. Wait a second. I thought sand people always traveled in single file to avoid their tracks being detected. What? Hey, by the way, C-3PO is here, greeting people. Karabakia. That's pretty cool. This guy's got a lot of popcorn around blasters and lightsabers. Who knows what can happen? Hey, look, it's R2KT. We're outside where they're doing this humongous 501st photo shoot. We're gonna see if we can get near them to even take a picture. Stormtrooper. This is this giant line. Look at this. Everybody black up top right now. So we've got all kinds of Imperial officers, Mauls.
Has longer antlers.
Anybody who's really going to be sweating because of the black. So every celebration, 501st from all over the world get together for these group pictures, and they break it into different types of troops. Upstairs right now, Imperial officers, Tusken Raiders, Darth Mauls. Basically anybody who's wearing a dark color is up there now. We got some Jango Fett's up there. And Boba Fett. And Bosk. Well, scratch that. It's not anybody that's dark, because we've got scout troopers up there now too. And more bounty hunters. So, we got a whole bunch of people. I like Vader is all the way up on the top step there. We're up in the droid builder's room. Look at this steampunk R5. That's very cool. I love his gauges. And he's actually got a little steam exhaust. That's awesome. But if you watch this channel and you see me talking about this mouse droid, I want a mouse droid more than any other R2 right now. This is an R2 working, and it's built off of the R2s from Kenner when the movies first came out. This guy is like the kitchen sink R2, so he's got all of his ports open, his doors open. He's got a scanner up there, and then down below you have the hologram Leia. How cool is that? Look at how tall that pole is. That's awesome. And we have the surgical droid here, 21B. I know I couldn't remember his name the other day in the video. It is 21B, it's correct. And we have the rolling droid. This is R2-D2 in love. We have a little short movie that they're playing on their iPad over there, and a description of the movie. Very awesome. And we have a wooden body for an R2 here, but look at this etched or burned drawing that's inside here. That's pretty awesome. What is this? What is this? What are you? Celebration would not have been complete if we ran into the one character that everyone loves the most out of any of the Star Wars movies or television shows. I think you know who I'm talking about. It's Jar Jar Binks. That's who we're talking about. He's gone Jedi.
Can I get a photo of
Jar Jar, just for you.
Hey, I remember you from last night, Fuzzy Boots.
Well, it was a long day at Celebration. What was your favorite part? Hello? I liked everything. No response. I'm gonna try finding something to eat.